The Master's Playground. Welcome to another episode of the Master's Playground. I am your host, Skidrow. Hello, loves. Merry post-Christmas, post-Hanukkah, post-Kwanzaa, insert all celebration here. Hi. Okay, right on. So, before I get started, let me go ahead and decompress, realign, do my thing. You're welcome to join me. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Satnam, beloveds. Welcome to the Master's Playground. I am your host, Skidrow, and tonight we are embracing loose change. What? Loose change. I'm loving the titles, by the way, of each episode. They're so, out there. Okay. So in this episode, we're embracing changing our minds, changing our hearts, changing our perspective, and really understanding what change and all this loose change can add up to be. In addition to this topic and playing amazing music along the way, I also welcome your question, your Kabbalah Tarot question at 1-800-893-9562. All right, so let me get into the topic, all right? Change. What is it? It's to make or become different. It's to become something else. And there's a lot of examples, there's a lot of ways that we can quote unquote change. And you may have noticed this is actually really popular and rampant out there. Getting on a soapbox and going, oh my God, I'm going to do this and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And I can only share this because I used to be that way. I used to announce the play-by-play of what I was going to be doing, right? Grabbing my megaphone and proclaiming, oh, okay, insert whatever inspirational moment I'm having, right? So that's really popular. You'll find that a lot of people will talk about the stuff that they want to do. A lot. But more than not, putting it out there like that, it usually does not have the follow through. It usually does not come to manifest, right? It tends to be statements that are empty. Another form of change. You could still have that cheerleader, right? You could still have that oh my God, right? Aspect. But it's, what it's about having it internally, In a previous episode, I talked about how it's important. I think it was called Birth and Gestation. And, it had a graphic, Frida Kahlo graphic on it. Anyway, so I digress. When you hold on to it internally, you're protecting it, you're nurturing it. It is a relationship with you and your higher self. When you project things out there, you're going to have your fans. You're going to have people who clap and go, right on, that's so amazing, totally right on, you know. But more than not, you're exposing yourself to energy that, I guess you could say, is susceptible to the energetic reception of others. You know, we put it out there for a reaction, when really it should be a reaction within. All right, so those are different types of declarations that could happen, right? Change is also known in, you know, dollars and cents. We accumulate it, you know, our bank accounts. We collect our change. We save, we put away. In actuality, it's a metaphor to how we can apply it to our lives. Little changes. Moving forward with little changes along the way. And I bring this up because 2015 is coming up. And with 2015, it's going to be very important because we are moving into what's known as the subtle body, right? Well, actually, it's going to be more of a pranic body, but it's going to have an emphasis on the subtleties that we do and becoming very sensitive to that. Now, the subtle body is transparent and, you know, it's in the ethers, right? It's very subtle. It is vast and contains much wisdom and the knowledge of infinity. It's also known as the ninth body, even though next year is the year of 8, which I will get into in our next episode. The reason I bring it up, though, is because with the subtle body, it really has an emphasis on our relationship with our own soul, right? So with loose change, it is these little things that we can do and to start accumulating so that we can move forward with changing our lives even more profoundly. Like, okay, some examples before I go into a song. My daily routine changed, and the daily routines of several individuals that I know. Incorporating meditation daily. Now, doing it once, yeah, that's great. Doing it for 40 days, wow. You start to feel and become something different. Moving forward with 90 days, 120 days, even 1,000 days, or a lifetime dedicated to a meditation. Little by little, day by day, you change your frequency. Minding one's words, that's something that I noticed that I modified this last year. It is with soft and sweet speech that strengthens the subtle body. Speaking in a saintly fashion, removing coarse words from your vocabulary, and holding on to the truth of your words all helps to strengthen your subtle body. So the perception of change. It's all the perception. Have those powerful moments, but have them to yourself. Proclaim it to yourself. Make these choices of changing to yourself. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start with our first song. And before I transition into it, once again, I do welcome your call for a free Kabbalah Tarot reading at 1-800-893-9562. All right, let's get started with our first song. Enjoy.
Time was running wild, a million dead-end streets, and every time I thought I got it made, it seemed the taste was not so sweet. So I turned myself to face me, but I've never caught a glimpse how the others must see the faker. I'm much too fast to take that test. Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Don't wanna be a richer man. Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. It's gonna have to be a different man. Time may change me, but I can't trace time. Yeah. I watch the ripples change the sides, but never leave the stream of warm and permanent sand. So the days float through my eyes, but still the days seem the same. And these children that you spit on as they try to change their worlds are immune to your consultations. They're quite aware of what they're going through. Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Don't tell them to grow up out of it. Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Where's your shame you've left us up to our next event? Time may change me, but you can't twist time. Strange fascination fascinating me. Our changes are taking the pace I'm going through. Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Ooh, look out, you rock and rollers. Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Pretty soon now you're gonna get older. Time may change me, but I can't trace time. I said that time may change me, but I can't trace time.
Little classic moment. Changes. David Bowie. Welcome back. Hi. My name is Chrissy Stereo. Yeah, I just had some weird subtle moment right now. Right on. So, hey, all right. So in this episode, we were talking about change, right? Making change. Those subtle moments. Thus the title, Loose Change. So there's different ways of changing, right? Making these profound statements, grabbing the megaphone. Attention, everybody! I'm totally going to be doing this. Right on. And then it's like, that it didn't quite work out. Or you totally turn within, and you're like, oh my God, I'm totally going to do this. And you protect it and nurture it and know it, and you become it. Without any influence on the exterior, without any attachment of reaction. So changing your mind and changing your heart. We could find in this lifetime that we actually, there's a saying out there that I disagree with, which is people don't change. And it's usually the sticklers, the ones that are really angry about something, that hold on to that mantra. Oh, that person's never going to change. Blah, 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 blah. Right? My truth, my personal truth, is that people change all the time. It's the one constant in this lifetime. Constantly expanding. yes, people can be stuck. People can hold on to something for a very long time. Chewing on that bone, right? But people do change. And in your astrology chart, you might want to notice it too. There's an aspect in my chart where I notice that it's constantly the Phoenix rising. And I'm like, oh, well, that explains everything, right? So change. It is possible to change your mind and to have a change of heart with things. An example, right? Yeah, okay, so you change your mind about a certain situation or something, right? But let's go into the heart a little bit. When your heart begins to open, you expand to allow yourself to feel differently about something or someone, right? Your gut never really changes. That's one thing I want to mention. When you have that gut feeling, that feeling, that's a one constant, That's sort of a little sensor for us. It helps us understand our own intuition. It's like, wait, what's happening, So anyways, I bring all this stuff up, right? Because the brain, the heart, and the gut all have their own central nervous system. Okay? And they're really tools for us. Right. All right. The law of attraction. We already know that we can modify our minds so that we can attract things into our life. However, when it comes to changing your heart, like for example, okay, let's say you're kicking it with a friend, right? And your friend says, dude, you should totally leave that guy, dump him, right? And in their mind, it's logical. But in yours, you may find that, yeah, you actually need to have your heart change before you could take any steps like that. However, if you allow yourself to get caught up in the opinions of others and the guidance of others without really checking in with your own heart, that's when messes could happen. Things start to, get a little sloppy. So really, taking the time to really allow your heart to expand and change is taking the time for your own self-empowerment. Right. So I'm going to dive into another song because I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm in the mood to hear a lot of music tonight. I really am. So with that, let's go ahead and transition into our next song. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Masters Playground. My name is Chrissy Stereo, and you could find us at skidrowstudios.com. You could also give us a call at 1-800-893-9562. All right. I think I need a little dance song. Enjoy. Beautiful. New Order, Blue Monday. Hey, I still love that song. You know what? Let's just face it. I love all music constantly. Yes, I had to bust that one out because I really just needed that retro synth all over again. Yes. You are tuning into the Master's Playground. I am your host, Chrissy Stereo, and tonight we are talking about loose change, right? We've talked about the different types of changes that you can do, meaning like the declarations that you can do. Now, in this last segment, we talked about how to use our internal navigation system and to really have a relationship not only with our mind, our heart, but also with our gut. Each one has its own central nervous system, right? And really, we can't really change. I mean, you can. It will be sloppy as normal, but ideally, the types of changes that you should have in your experience, in our experience, is one that comes from a very heart-based center. That's why terms like follow your bliss are so popular out there, right? I have a little quote for everybody from Yogi Bhajan. Times will change. Values will change. Only one thing does not change. That is the depth in you, the soul within you, the part of you which is immortal. Immortal changes, and immortal does not change. Yeah. So how do we change? Right? How do we go about making changes in our life? I mean, really profound changes, Not one that's just sort of like acting a little blindly and following wherever the mind is going, but getting more of your heart involved in the changes and choices that you make. Nam. I'm going to talk about Nam. What is it? It is the key to opening one's heart and awakening to divine consciousness. It is the science of light. It is vibration. It is a state of being. When you are in a state of Nam, you feel that you are connected to everything and that everything is connected to you. Nam is a state of being in which you experience your true identity and you understand your own blessedness and your own grace. There's a segment of yoga that's known as Nam Yoga, which is very, very similar to Kundalini Yoga. However, with Nam Yoga, there's more of an emphasis on sound. In the beginning, there was the word. That means, at least for me, that in the beginning, and everything is based on sound. Everything. Wow. The Big Bang. Nam means the name. So, sound is my thing, right? Like, that's totally what I'm into. It is the vehicle, the primary vehicle that I use in my own life to apply continual healing in my experience. And I bring this up because there's a variety of tools that are available in sound that one can use. With Nam, and it meaning the name, we chant the names of the divine so that we could attain our wishes and goals and dreams. And as you know, here on the Master's Playground, we play with a variety of tools, right? Sound is where I'm diving in right now, and sharing what it can do. Just recently, yesterday, I congratulated the first batch of individuals who crossed the 40-day meditation threshold. 40 days ago, they embraced chanting Har and applying it so that they can manifest prosperity into their life. I also posted on triplegoddesspro.me what 40 days does to you, 90 days, 120 days, and 1,000 days of meditation does for you. Now, with each chant of Har, which is the name of God, there's so many names, right? You're essentially going into a state of having communication with God. Anyways, I bring this up because that is literally a mantra. And since we're all on a journey to become more whole, to become more authentic, to become more connected with who we really are. And with mantra, it is the use of sound to affect consciousness. Man, M-A-N, means mind. Tran means wave or projection. Everything in this world, down to the subatomic level, is in constant motion and vibrating. There is a vibrational frequency that corresponds to everything in the universe. Happiness or sorrow, joy or regret are vibrational frequencies in the mind. When we chant a mantra, we are choosing to invoke the positive power contained in those particular syllables, whether it's for prosperity, peace of mind, increasing intuition, or any other possible benefit that is inherent to that mantra. Simply by chanting them, we are setting vibrations into motion that have an effect. And it doesn't really matter if you understand what you're saying, right? Like, I don't know. In English, Har. What is Har? Well, harmony, it's really kind of fun finding, where these, ancient languages and their vibration and how we've incorporated it into our English language. It really has you sort of trip on words differently. So I invite you to do that. I don't know, like look up all the words, right? That start with H-A-R for kicks. All right. So as I was saying, chanting mantra produces a specific vibratory frequency within the body. The sounds and thoughts produced by the body and mind radiate out from you. The vibrational frequency of a mantra draws to you whatever you are vibrating. You become like a magnet, attracting vibrations to you by what you send out. As a vibration, a mood, a state of being that results from chanting, mantra is compatible with all belief systems. All of them. Insert any religion, any spirituality, any belief system. If you're a rocker, just, out drinking your beer in the parking lot. You know what I mean? It's still sound, man. You're still like grooving on it. And we don't chant just for affirmation, like, okay, man, I feel so much better, even though that happens. That's not our focus, right? Like, for example, take the concept of becoming wealthy, right? It's allowing yourself to really get into that vibration and allowing that to become your truth rather than this abstract, distant thing, right? Because we already know anything that's out there and exterior and like, oh, I'm reaching. You're not, all you're doing is acknowledging the separation. But when you allow yourself to become, that's when you are. Right on. Using sound technology is highly recommended, highly, 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 highly recommended. Just to give you a little insight into my own personal lifestyle, what I do is literally I'll leave my place with a mantra constantly playing. So it sets the vibrational tone of where I reside. 90% of the time, in my experience, I have a headset on. Not because I'm avoiding the world, but because I'm, having a relationship with myself, my connection through sound. And more than not, I'm playing a variety of mantras. So in essence, there is sound that you can use into your own healing experience. There's also a variety of other tools. I mean, we know this, right? But I really wanted to put an emphasis on sound because it's so subtle. And it's about making subtle changes, one step at a time, one vibration at a time. And another thing I want to mention about change. In life, that is the one constant that we can count on. Change always happens. And change is just another word for healing. Yeah. So I'm going to play another song and then come back and do a little tarot. Yeah, which one do I want to play? Okay, all right. So here's the mix, right? I have a mantra, I have Susie and the Banshees, and I have Gary Newman. So I'm like, okay, which one do I want to play? Which one do I want to play? I got to tell you, Susie's kind of making the cut for me. So enjoy. Happy House, Susie and the Banshees. I love that song. I love that song so much. Yeah. So in this episode, we've been talking about loose change. Why? Hey, man, it's about being happier. I mean, that's why I'm doing everything, right? It's like, yo, everyone's kind of like walking around grumbling and holding on to stuff. And that's cool, man, but it's like, all right, you know what? How do we kick this party up to the next notch? How do we actually, hey, man, truly love ourselves and each other, So, yeah, I get very esoteric and I'm like, yeah, man, meditate, chant horror, do this, do that. And it's great. These tools work. One thing I'll say about Kundalini yoga, don't ask me why, but each of those meditations work, man. It's like a weird trip. It's like what? It truly opens up things. I'm on a fascination tour, truly. But then again, I am, doing like literally, 7 meditations per day. But just if you do that one for 40 days, man, the Pepsi challenge, right on. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into the reading for this week. All right. What are the energies that we can expect for this week? And you know what? Hey, nobody picked up the phone. I see, hey, like I always I love watching the charts of who's watching and what's going on, right? And that's cool. If you just want to hear about, what's coming up this week, you got it, So what can the collective consciousness anticipate for the coming week? What? 11, Justice. We ended up getting the Justice card. And with that, we really are invited to make our intentions known. To really establish our intentions. And it kind of, I love how spirit works because literally here I am talking about change. Here I am talking about making these internal declarations within yourself instead of grabbing the megaphone and going, I'm going to do this when I grow up. You know what I mean? La, 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 whatever. So it's really about making those intentions known to you, man. It's about really going, this is what I'm going to do for me because I love me. Right? But it also is justice. So with that, we have balance, return, law, and karma as the key words. So what's happening there? It's really asking all of us, if any of us are in an ongoing state of criticism and conflict, our worlds are simply a living misery. Right? If we're still trapped in that, it's just a misery, For those who exercise forgiveness, patience, and compassion, those energies are returned. Remember, it's balance, it's justice. What you put out comes back to you. Karma. So really, with this card, what we can anticipate is what we do unto others. Well, basically, it's that mantra, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In another trip, think of others as you would have them think of you. So those are the energies that are greeting us for this coming week. It's this opportunity. It really is like what I feel it's just karmic, man. It really is. Whatever we have been putting out there, whatever we've been, working on, and I really want to say during this whole Saturn in Scorpio period, and it was one hell of a ride, right? But what did you put out there? Was it love? What was it? Fear. All right, so for me, it's coming to a culmination, because it's going to start getting reflected back to us now. So with that, as some people are cringing, it's like, wait, what did I do? What did I put out there, man? How do we navigate? How do we navigate? And we ended up getting a card that we got last week, which is kind of trippy. It's showing a little comeback tour, which is the Seven of Cups, right? And this ties into having a very high expectation, based on things happening. It has a little bit of an overconfidence, so we have to check our ego at the door, And it's really discipline and faith. And to clear our consciousness of all doubt and confusion. That's how we navigate this coming week. All right, so I'm going to call it Karma Week. Karma Week is here, man, right? And regardless of what is getting displayed back to you, whether it's the love or whether or not it's the fear and the misery that's coming back to you, how do you navigate? You clear your own consciousness through your own discipline and faith. Clear it, go in, do it. Do it. There's no escaping the work, dude. That's all I'm saying. There's no escaping the work. You're always going to have to do the work. It's not a destination we arrive to, but it is a state of being that starts to take hold more and more than not. Yes. What else should we know about this? Know that if you make a decision, right, turn it over to the divine. Then the journey towards your dream has begun. Some pretty heavy navigational words, right? So Karma Week, recap. We have Karma Week, followed by, we know that something's about to happen. And I've been talking about this. There is something that's coming. It's like this giant buildup. And now, through this, it's going to start getting reflected back to us, right? But the invitation to still remain disciplined with ourselves is here. Don't get too overconfident. But really turn your dreams over to the divine. And I said, okay, so there's one more question that I asked, which was, what is the gift of this coming week, right? So we have the energies, how do we navigate? But what is the gift of this week that is about to greet us? The High Priestess. So with the High Priestess, it's really interesting energy because it mixes the Fool energy and the Magician energy together. And what that means is that it's, think about the Fool. It's like, well, I'm going to go for it. Oh my God, I'm surrendering everything to, the divine. Wow. Oh my gosh, right? And the Magician is a little bit more like, okay, I'm taking what I have and I'm, like waving my magic wand upon it, and transforming that into even more, growth, right? But with this card, the gift is that it is a very necessary change that serves the greater good. God is protecting us. And to know that if it's in our best interest, whatever will be, will be. This card is a very mysterious and subconscious card. It really deals with our intuition and dreams. There is a duality that is highlighted with it. And really, the gift is the temple of the mind where we do the work that we wish to become manifest in our life. It is our constant mental dialogue that will determine the world that we exist in. You are the creator. So the gift is really co-creation. It really is. Karma, surrender, co-create. Beautiful. You've tuned into the Master's Playground. My name is Chrissy Stereo. You are invited to visit triplegoddesspro.me. Now, next week, what's happening is we are welcoming back to the Master's Playground the founder, creator, and owner of CIA. Agent 12, if you will. Yeah. The Cosmic Intelligence Agency. Julia Simas. Her and I are going to be doing a broadcast this coming week where we are diving into what we can expect this year. We're going to be looking at astrology. We're going to be looking at numerology. And we're also going to be embracing, of course, Kabbalah Tarot. You're invited to tune in next Friday, 6 p.m. And with that, my loves, let me send you off with a warm blessing and a Satnam. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Satnam. Blessings. Have a beautiful week.
Love yourself. Love each other. We are one. We are the divine. Blessings. The Master's Playground.